Okay, so that's the formula. You're not gonna, this is the law of sines formula that goes with this triangle. You're not gonna use all three fractions at any, you only use two fractions at a time in any combination. So you could use like A and B together, or B and C together, or even A and C together in any order, okay? Now, let me set one of these up. Let's write it again, sine A over side A. So for example, you can do the C and the A together, okay? Now, what I wanted to show you guys here is how many components is this made out of? Well, we have angle A, angle C, side A, and side C. Who knows the answer to this question? This is one equation. How many unknowns should we have if we have one equation so that we can solve one equation? How many unknowns? So, in other words, out of these four things, how many things should I know? How many things should I not know in order to be solved? Does anybody know the answer to that? One. Okay, and it's actually, if you learn this, it's going to help you out so much. If you have one unknown, you should have one equation. If you have two unknowns, you should have two equations. If you have three unknowns, three, so on and so on and so on. Okay, so out of these four bubbles, you should know this one maybe, this one maybe, this one maybe, this one, and not that one. For example, that's an example. That's a good setup. I can solve that, okay? Another setup, maybe you know this angle, and this angle, and this side, but maybe you don't know that side. That's a good setup. I can solve that. One unknown, okay? Here is a bad setup. If you ever set this up and you don't know those two things, you just got stuck. There's nowhere to go with that equation. Okay, so only one thing should be unknown. Does that make sense, guys, what I'm saying? Okay, so I think now that leads us to part 2. This is a different type of labeling. That's going to be really important, okay? The best way I can describe this to you is, let's do this. Let's put an angle here. Let's say this is 30, this is 51, and this is 5. Okay. This is going to be a silly question, but just follow with me. It's for a reason. Which of these three numbers is in the middle? 51. Does everybody see that? So don't pick the middle number. Pick one of the edge numbers. Okay, so let's start with the 30. Is the 30 an angle or a side? Okay, angle. Okay, I know these questions are silly, but I'm going somewhere with this. So you start with one of the side numbers. Okay, now, and I need to go around the triangle. So I could go this way or I could go this way. So how do you know which way to go? You go the way the number is the closest. So if I go up or down, where am I going to counter another number first? Down or up? So you go down. Okay, so that's how you pick what way to go. Okay, so I'm going to go down. So I'm going to go around the triangle in this direction. So that's an angle. The next number I come across is what? This 51. Angle and side. Does everybody see that? Angle, angle, side. This is the first time you label like this. This is called the angle, side problem, because it was angle, angle, side. Okay, and why does that matter? Like, to you, doesn't matter, but the reason that matters is because that tells us we can use law of sine. Okay, and all today they're all going to be a law of sine, so it's not going to matter a lot. But once we start throwing the other types of problems, how are you going to know if to use law of sines or law of cosines? Because of this stuff. Okay, so law of sines works with AAS, angle, side angle, okay, and with side angle. Those three categories are for law of sines. There's other categories. For example, there's side, three sides. Law of sines does not work with side. So that's why it's important that we know how to label, because knowing how to label it will tell us, it's kind of like this, depending on what you had, depending which one you choose, That's with this. Depending on what you have, depends whether you use law of sines or law of cosines. Does that make sense, guys? What I'm saying? Okay, so, and we're going to practice labeling. So if you didn't catch it just yet, you'll get it here in a second. But let's go to part 3 now in our examples.